We are UR Echo Base Network. Welcome back to the show, guys. I'm the coach. How many Luke Skywalker fans are out there? How many Luke Skywalker fans are left? We have got some news for you, and you want to stick around for the entirety of this video because we are going to make a case. We are going to build a case, and you don't want to miss this. Before we get into it, I want to bring my partner here at Echo Base Network into the show. What's going on, Nick?
How's it going, guys? Just trying to avoid all these tornadoes today.
Absolutely. We are doing that. We are alive and well, everybody. So this morning on Good Morning America, actor Sebastian Stan was asked about his thoughts on possibly playing Luke Skywalker one day. Robin Roberts basically said the fans are calling for it. What do you think about it? Well, we've got the clip, and we're going to play it for you right here. We'll be right back to discuss.
And people are wondering about you playing perhaps a young Luke Skywalker. Ooh. I know he's going from Marvel to Disney and to Star Wars, and even Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker himself, has tweeted his support.
Well, if Mark Hamill calls me personally to tell me that he feels inclined to share this role with me, then I'll believe it. Until then, I won't believe it.
All right, Nick. So right there, Sebastian Stan. Let's go over this comment again real fast. If Mark Hamill calls me personally, he feels inclined to share this role with me, then I'll believe it. Well, Nick, before we get into our Nick's takes and you start shooting from the hip, I've put together a very quick coach's points of reason. So I want to go over those real quick and kind of present them to you because you don't even know these. Nope. And once I'm done with my 5 or 6 little things, you fire away and you tell me what you think. You tell me if you think I'm way off. I don't know. This is something that we haven't pre-planned. I pre-planned this part of it, but you don't know what I'm about to say. So Here we go. Let's get into this. All right, so we are back with Coach's Points of Reason. And Nick, the very first reason that I have, actually the first 2 reasons that I have are right here. First, we just saw a non-answer from Sebastian Stan. He was specifically asked, what do you think about possibly playing this one day? Fans are calling for it. And I've got up there for you, a non-answer is an answer. You looked at his facial expression when it happened, and it was a total non-answer. And the reason I have the second part there is because it's directly tied to the first. It seemed to me like a very rehearsed and prepared statement. He really didn't answer the question at all. And number 3, I think all of this could be more evidence that a series is coming. A Luke Skywalker series. I know, guys, that Luke Skywalker has been horribly mistreated since 2012. Nobody can deny that. Nobody's going to deny that. But I do think that with what just happened in Mandalorian and all that, there's, we broke it a couple weeks ago that a Luke Skywalker series is in pre-production. Go back and watch that video that we did. That information has leaked from an apparent, reliable source. So what's going to happen there? And then another point, Nick, he didn't say Hamill hasn't called. He said, if Mark Hamill calls me personally, he feels inclined to share this role with me, then I'll believe it. Well, who's to say that's not already happened? I know that Sebastian Stan just gave that article or that interview today, but I don't think that it's necessarily hasn't already happened. He's kind of talking around it. And then another thing, Nick, is the great disappearing act of Luke Skywalker. And this one actually unnerves me a little bit. This is something that you and I have been doing a lot. We have been watching, what is happening with Luke Skywalker ever since halfway through December when we got the rescue episode, the season 2 finale from Mandalorian. And we were expecting billboards. We were expecting Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker to be on StarWars.com on the front page. We were expecting tweets. We were expecting things on Instagram. We got none of that. The only person that ever came out and said anything about it was Jon Favreau. And he was very pleased with it. You could tell, you could see the excitement all over him. But no one else has spoken of Luke Skywalker's return to Star Wars, Mark Hamill's return to Star Wars in a heroic fashion. And to the fandom, it's a much bigger deal. And Nick, I started thinking about this. And I've widened my points down here. There's a book that's coming out by Kristen Baver. Kristen is the person that does whatever that show's called that, I hate to say that nobody watches it. It's the shows that are getting absolutely drilled on the Star Wars main channel on YouTube.
She's the High Republic stuff?
Well, not just the High Republic stuff, but it's like Today in Star Wars or something like that.
Okay.
This Day in Star Wars. She's the host, and she's undeniably a big Star Wars fan. This is not any kind of shot at her whatsoever, but it is a question. I do have a question for Kristen, and Kristen, if you ever see this video, we'd love for you to come on and talk Star Wars, and you tell us your answer to this. But here she is, Nick. She is writing this book. Well, who do you see front and center right there?
Darth Vader?
Well, front and center. He's back.
Luke Skywalker.
Luke Skywalker is front and center, and it says Skywalker, a family at war. And so this is her writing a novel that's coming out very soon in the next couple weeks about the Skywalkers, including Luke. And what's curious to be, and this is something that I actually thought about even doing an episode about this. If you go back to Kristen Baver's Twitter page, and you scroll through her timeline, there is no Luke Skywalker. None. It's very curious. She's writing this book right here. Now, she's tweeted pictures of Anakin, a lot of Leia, but even around when Luke came back in Chapter 16, nothing. Dead silence from her. One time she said something to the effect of, don't want to do spoilers. But she never came around to having a celebration of the return of Luke Skywalker. And I don't want to get lost in the point. We're talking about the great disappearing act. Luke came back and then poof, he's gone. Nobody's talking about him. Nobody at all. If you go back, if people are saying that, the reason that people weren't talking about him is because they didn't want to spoil it. Well, it's been nearly 4 months, Nick. It's been nearly 4 months. And if you go back to this moment right here, the next chapter has arrived, chapter 13. The Mandalorian is now streaming. Ahsoka was in this episode. They didn't show it for spoilers' sake, right?
Right.
Well, just 2 days later, she's front and center. 2 days later, she's front and center, and you never got that treatment. As a matter of fact, I went to the official Star Wars Twitter page, and I had to scroll all the way back to September 25th when Mark Hamill turned 69 years old. That's the first Luke Skywalker we see on their Twitter page when he happened to have a birthday. And you keep going back and back and back all the way back to May 22nd. What's the best scene in The Empire Strikes Back? And you got these three, not even Luke there. Not even there. It's all the way back to May the 20th of 2020. Nick, it's almost been a year. It has almost been a year since they have posted an image of Mark Hamill as Luke Skywalker since, if you excuse his birthday. So that leads us to the last point. And this is what I'm hoping for, Nick. This is a little fan service from me, I guess. Sebastian Stan as Luke Skywalker coming to Disney+. It could go either one of two ways, and I'll let you talk about that, them not doing it or they're doing it. But, Nick, what is your take on this whole Sebastian Stan kind of non-committal, non-answer? What do you think's going to happen?
I honestly have no clue. Well, I have no clue what they're going to do. I'm sure they're toying with the idea of having Sebastian Stan, but the thing is, I don't know if it's going to work or if it's going to be believable. uh, for me. I mean, if they used like the voice isn't going to be the same. He's not going to look exactly like Mark Hamill. I don't know. I think his response, though, uh, if there is something in the works, he obviously can't say anything about it. It's not like he's going to come out and be like, "Yeah, it's a go. We're working on it right now, and
Good point.
yeah, I'm going to be a part of it." So, I mean, he can't really say anything. So they basically asked him a question that he can't answer, and that's why we got the non-answer answer.
Right. And I thought it was kind of interesting too, Nick, because if you look back at his words specifically, he said, if Mark Hamill calls me personally, he feels inclined to share this role with me, then I'll believe it. But Robin Roberts had just told him that Mark Hamill supported you on Twitter. And he did.
Well, he might be in the mindset of, and this is just a speculation, obviously, but he could be in the mindset of, does Mark Hamill even run his Twitter account? Because so many celebrities might jump on there and might make a post from time to time, but they have other people that kind of run their social media accounts. So maybe he could have been in the mindset of, did Mark Hamill actually say that on his Twitter account, or was it one of his people that run his account? He could have been in that mindset.
Yeah, that's a very good point. So, Nick, tell us what you hope will happen. Go ahead.
I hope we get a Luke series, and I hope Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau are leading it, as well as the show, the writing, everything. And I hope it's actually Luke Skywalker. For me, I think he has to look and sound like Mark Hamill from Return of the Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
If it doesn't, I don't know if it works for me.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my thought on it.
All right.
But Disney obviously are trying to distance themselves from Luke Skywalker for some strange reason. I mean, they even said it when they were talking about The Force Awakens. Every time Luke would show up in there, it just kind of took away from everything. He just kind of took all the attention. No, duh, he's freaking Luke Skywalker. I mean, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But there's a way to do that to where I mean, Cobra Kai, Ralph Macchio's character Daniel and William Zabka's Johnny, when they're on the screen, yeah, they're taking the scene, but it's done so well with other characters, their characters don't overshadow everything else that's going on.
Right.
So,
well, I'm going to put you in the EBN cold seat. Are you ready?
Yep.
All right, here it is.
All right.
If you remove Kathleen Kennedy from the equation, if you remove the current state of Lucasfilm, and you remove political agenda, if you really just get down to Star Wars canon,
George Lucas canon, not Disney canon.
No, well, that's a conversation for a whole nother thing. Okay, all right.
Well, I got to know what canon we're talking about here.
Well, there's that's still a whole nother conversation.
Okay.
My rebuttal to that would be a whole nother thing, and then people would be commenting on that instead of what we're actually talking about. Okay. So, all right, let me restate it then. The Star Wars story moving forward, okay, whether George Lucas is involved or not,
right,
is the return of Luke Skywalker, like we saw him in Chapter 16, the best hope for Star Wars in terms of its story moving forward? What say you?
Best hope. I think it's definitely up there. I would say yes. It probably is the best hope. But I think there's some other shows such as the Obi-Wan show and the Ahsoka show that could also be really huge and maybe have a lot more revealing things happen in them possibly that could be just as big, if not bigger, than anything that happens in a Luke series. But I mean, I'm a Luke Skywalker fan, so I would be more excited to see this Luke series, and I think that'd probably be the best hope for getting a lot of the fans back. But it's also dependent on how well the show is and how they treat the character. I mean, that's like key right there. I mean, you can't just throw Luke. I mean, they had Luke Skywalker in the sequels and it was terrible. So they could have Luke Skywalker in a TV show and it'd be terrible. So they have to get the character right, and he has to be like Gandalf the White of the series. Like, he's got to be powerful, like freaking, Super Saiyan 4, Goku or something. He's got to be powerful.
Right. Yep. Well said. Well, guys, we're going to be right back with something very special right after you see this little trailer that we put together. Many of you have seen it before, but it definitely won't hurt to see it again. It's a little fan trailer that we put for a Luke Skywalker streaming series. Check it out.
I am a Jedi, like my father before me.
Obviously, that's just wishful thinking that it's streaming November the 12th. I picked that date to put there because that's where The Mandalorian started, was November the 12th. So anyways, now that we got you all hyped up about Luke Skywalker, go to echobasenetwork.com and order your The Jedi Returns tee today. echobasenetwork.com, click on merch, and you will not be disappointed. All right, Nick, that's going to do it for us. Anything coming up on Saturday night's live stream?
I don't even think we're going to be talking about, crap, we mentioned it. I completely forgot. I've been so busy with stuff. I'm drawing a blank.
Bro, it's completely okay. Well, one thing that we're going to be talking about is this news right here. Something that we like to do on our channel is we like to always go over and talk about the things that we hit on. The other thing that we hit on that was really big was the hashtag release the Lucas sequel trilogy.
That's right.
Yep.
That's right.
So we will be discussing those things. I didn't mean to put you on the spot like that. My bad.
I'm my brain just blanked right when you asked me.
All good. Well, that's going to do it for us, guys. I'm the coach, and he is Nick. And we normally don't ask people to like, share, subscribe, and all that kind of stuff. But if you've watched the video this far, please comment below. Let us know what you think about this Sebastian Stan. answer, do you want to see Luke Skywalker series? I think that most of us do. If you still care about Star Wars, some people have left, and I totally understand that. But that's going to do it for us, guys. As always, I'm the coach. He is Nick. We are You Are Echo Base Network, and we are out.
We'll see you guys on the next video.